Hi everybody, it's Lisa Campion here, and I want to talk today about psychic development. Since I teach psychic development classes, this is a really sort of fun topic for me. And one of the questions that I get asked a lot is really, who is psychic and how do you tell who's psychic? And my answer is everyone. Everyone is psychic. Everyone is intuitive. And I guess I can say it's a little bit like athletic ability or musical ability. Everybody has a little bit. Some people have a lot. They're like super musically talented or athletically talented. Some people are in the middle. Some people are more, maybe they're good at other things. But whatever you have, you still have to train it. So let's say you have boatloads of musical ability. You still have to practice every day. You have to get a teacher, you have to work it. And psychic ability is really very similar to that. I feel like if you have latent psychic ability, which you'll know if you do, because, you're just going to know things or have dreams that come true. Sometimes, you have a feeling, a good feeling or a bad feeling. You might be a visual psychic that sees things, right? But I believe that we have these gifts for a reason, and we have to make a decision to train it or not train it. We all have to do that, right? And I feel like the more latent ability we have, the more important it is to train it. So it's a personal decision that everyone has to make, and I think people get a little scared of psychic. They're scared of psychics. They're scared of their own psychic ability. Maybe they feel like it's bad and they shouldn't have it. So it can be suppressed inside of you. and we can shut it off if we really decide that we want to do that. But in my experience, the people who have a very strong ability and shut it off kind of, they're the ones that go a little bit nutty. And I don't believe that we have these, the gifts for no reason. Like, there's a reason you have that. And I think that training it and figuring out what that is and how to apply it to your life is a really good idea. And I do think that it's fear that really stops people. Like I said, people tend to be a little bit afraid. Some people are afraid of psychics. Some people are afraid of that ability in themselves. So when I teach psychic development, one of the first things that I cover is working through the fear that you have. It's impossible to do it if you can't sort of process your fear. Some people are really afraid of, if I open up psychically, I'm going to see bad things. Many people who have a lot of latent psychic ability were really psychic as children, and maybe they had bad experiences or scary experiences when they were kids. I certainly did. I saw all kinds of things when I was a child, and I didn't know what they were. I didn't understand it. It was scary. So when we have that as kids, we shut it down. Or if we have an ability like that and it freaks out our parents, then we shut it down too, right? So sometimes we get afraid that we're going to attract bad things if we can see them. It's like a little bit of the ostrich, like if I just put my head in the sand and don't see anything, nothing bad will come around. I don't think that works or is real. Some people are really afraid of the crazy thing. Like, maybe you'll go crazy if you're open up your psychic ability. Other people will think you're crazy, and there is definitely something about people with untrained psychic. I always say there's only a few letters difference between psychic and psychotic. And sadly, that's the case. So a lot of times people that, have a lot of latent ability and don't train it can experience, distortions in the way they see things, even to the extreme, like mental health issues. But I believe that, in my experience too, training that is how we kind of get a hold of that and get that in order so it's not so scary. Some people too are also afraid that being psychic's not natural, it's not normal, or they've had, religious, training that tells you that it's bad, or, you shouldn't be doing that. It's against whatever religious principles that, that you might belong to. And again, I kind of believe that, the truth is that psychic development and psychic ability is a natural byproduct of personal and spiritual growth. So that as we develop and grow spiritually, our psychic ability naturally opens. It's one of the natural gifts of spiritual development. And in this day and age, we do a lot of things that help us grow. So maybe you have a yoga practice, maybe you practice Reiki, maybe you do meditation, and any of those things will naturally increase your psychic ability. And because those things are so prevalent now, a lot of people are having sudden psychic openings, like their psychic abilities blooming quite suddenly. And if that's happening to you, you definitely need to take a hold of that and really get some good training. I think of psychic training is a lot like being street smart, right? So if you're the more you know, the safer and happier you are. If you don't have any street smarts, like if you've never been anywhere and we plunked you in the middle of a big city somewhere, it might be kind of tough for you. You might get in trouble. You might wander into the wrong neighborhood. You might do something you don't even know isn't safe, right? And good psychic development is like becoming street smart. So we have a guide, we have a teacher, we learn a set of rules of what to do and what not to do. We become savvy and aware. And let me just tell you that you're not going to learn this by watching paranormal TV shows, because everything they do is dangerous and not to be done if you don't have training. So it's not a great idea to pick up your psychic development tips by watching paranormal TV. Super entertaining, I love those shows, but it's not proper training, okay? And I just want to, let you guys know that right now I'm running a psychic development class, Psychic 101, that you can get into, and, still possible to get into it. It's a 6-week video class, so you can watch it from home. You can be anywhere, people all over the world that take this class. You can also have an audio-only version of it, so if you want to listen to it in the car, you can do that. And this class will give you a very good foundation of understanding this part of yourself and beginning to develop it. So we cover the psychic senses. What are your psychic senses? How are they different from your physical senses? So you need to know what your primary psychic sense is in order to develop it. We learn a lot about how to trust yourself, because this is one of the biggest issues people have when they're learning. How do I know what's me? How do I know what's a real hit? We need to learn to recognize when we have a real hit, and there's very clear ways to tell that it's you versus a psychic hit. In this class, we talk a lot about spirit guides. Who are your spirit guides? What are they? Who are they? Like, what's the whole deal? How do you access them? How do you know? How do you work with them? We're going to cover that. We're also going to cover how to do it safely, how to work them. I'm really a stickler about that. How do we open in a way that will support you and, not overbalance you in a particular way. So there's also in this class exercises that, give you sort of daily exercises to help you increase your ability, your psychic ability. And it is a bit like going to the gym and lifting weights. Like, we have to do it regularly and frequently to increase that ability. Mostly I do that through guided meditations, journaling, and other kind of spiritual practice things that, they're easy and things you can integrate into your life. Also part of this class is a Q&A call, live Q&A call, and a Facebook group that you can belong to and ask questions, and I'm really in that Facebook group every day. So if you've been thinking about doing some psychic development, this is a really great place to start. It is, I don't know how to say, it's like a beginner class, but I teach at a very, intense level, even at a beginner practice. So, I just teach, that's just how it all seems to come out that way. So it's good if you are really new. It's good if you know something and you want to learn more. And it's a great price. So it's an easy price. I think you should, give yourself a Christmas present and look into this class. So I want to just extend you an invitation, and I'll post the link for you to sign up. And I really only do this class once in a while, but lately I had a bunch of people asking me for it, so I decided I would run it. Anyway, I really believe in the power of helping you develop this. Sort of my mission in life is to train empaths, psychics, and healers to really fully step into their gifts, because I believe more than anything that the world needs all the healers it can get. And really my whole life, my whole professional life has been about training psychics, healers, and empaths. So I invite you to do it, and have a great day and awesome holiday season, and I look forward to seeing you in class. Thanks. Bye. Mwah.